I guess I'm at the general store as well. Aegis isn't really making much conversation. Actually, no. If Aegis has his stones, he's going back to survey work.
All right.
He's going through just kind of jotting down. This is basically going to be most of Aegis during the week, is filling this notebook full of details on the people who are here.
I'll tell you what. Every day, you can ask me a question that I will answer.
Okay.
About the town, something that he could glean from just going around. So, what's your question for today?
I'm sorry, but I'm not quite sure. Like, on what should my questions be focused around? Like, just the town itself, my investigation, anything that would be useful for back in Seneca.
Yeah. Anything that Aegis could glean from his surveying.
Okay.
I'm glad we're using the word glean now. I love that word.
Yeah.
I'm just struggling to think of what would be useful. Come back to me on that.
My knowledge. Okay. Well, yeah, they're basically just kind of shooting this shit until the sun goes down, and when the clock hits a certain time, they're going to pop their pills.
Okay, alright, actually, sorry, long shot, but the first immediate one. So, it's been a day. Has there been anyone conked out here who I recognize?
No.
Okay, so no one I know.
Okay. Well, outside of people you saw in the dream, obviously.
Okay.
You see some of them.
So no one from Aegis's former life, no one who used to be in the Suns, anything like that. Okay.
Nah.
Alright, that's my question. First question for today is no familiar faces.
Gotcha. Alright, so, barring any, wants for questioning or events you want to...
This isn't kind of related to... This is related to investigation, but isn't... So, am I ever let in to see that clipboard?
He told you to just give them another day.
Alright.
Yeah. So, save for any want of questioning them or any other such things you would want to instigate, the clock will strike to midnight, and they will take their pills.
Glom?
And it's around the time where you should take your pills, unless you want to get sleep deprivation.
Aegis takes a pill and
Oh, you're gonna trick Axe.
to sleep.
Oh, you're gonna trick Axe putting it in his
Do we want to do shifts?
I think we're safe here because they're doing patrols.
Okay.
Yeah.
Valid, I guess.
But yeah, Axe
actually, Azora does ask, so if they're on patrol, like, could she just have what they're having and also be on patrol in her sleep, basically?
You should have, you gotta talk to Guillermo.
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 He's Guillermo now. I don't care or know what his original name was, but he's Guillermo now.
Okay, it's Guillermo. Guillermo's the talkative one.
Yeah, tomorrow you should ask Guillermo. He can make you the pills that they're having. These ones actually just put you to... These ones don't make you sleepwalk.
Yeah, I guess tomorrow then. And Azora takes the one for the night.
Yeah. It conks you up pretty quickly.
That's actually interesting. Azora's gonna ask if she can get more of these for the future, but Azora has chronic insomnia. That's what she uses her pipe leaf for.
Alright. And Axe, you take yours? Like a good little...
No, Axe is like, no, Axe don't wanna. But he gives up. Because it's like, Axe do like sleep.
Alright. Right. Yep. You all are all conked out with no dreaming. Alright. Alright, so when the morning comes, say around at exactly 6 a.m., you all wake up.
Figure is jogging outside. Actually, he wouldn't be for a half hour yet. But,
you slept in.
Yeah, as soon, basically just the sun has hit a certain point in the sky, and you all wake up.
Wow, Azora wakes up, the sun's in the sky,
yeah.
She just grunts, slept in.
And and you see and at the exact same table where they had all, and they're at the exact same table where they had congregated the last time they got out of their stupor.
God, I should have had these fucking pills in Grimwood to just know you all wake up at 6 a.m. at the same time.
Meanwhile, when
You
Willem is
don't
waking
feel well rested, but you're not tired.
No
Oh, good.
REM
You're at
sleep with this.
you're at a neutral.
All right then. It's not a great. So it stops you from having the good sleep, but it gives you the sleep.
Yeah.
This Aegis just reflects on how tragic that is for the dream worshippers.
It makes your body go through the motions of sleep
Maybe.
while locking your mind.
All right, back to the daily grind, I suppose.
Yeah. So for today, they all head out on. They talk to each other for a bit before heading out on their duties. And Guillermo,
Del Toro?
is his name now.
Is he
sort
in
of.
Death Stranding?
No. He sort of goes over to you, Aegis, and just says, "Well, I'm gonna go check on the med room if you wanted to come with."
Yes, yeah. I'm gonna take a look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Aegis grabs his notepad, kind of heads on over with him.
There's a bit of a breeze today. It's a lot chillier than it was.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
How safe are the people? I mean, is it?
Yeah,
bandits
Azora
ever
is
roll-
also gonna examine this along with Aegis.
Yeah. How do you mean?
Bandits
How do you
ever
mean
rolled
safe?
in elements, creatures. You got a
How
lot of
well
sleeping
defended?
people and only a few of you.
Oh, well, anything that rolls in, well, either they're naturally repelled by the magical, by some of the barriers we put up, or if they're of willings of sound and willing if they're of a certain mind and sentience, sapience, then they'll enter the dreamscape.
How intelligent does an animal have to be to enter the dreamscape?
How do you measure intelligence?
I don't know. Like, say, a dog. Could a dog enter?
Depends on the dog.
How about an ape?
Probably not an ape.
Wow, that's
Well,
interesting.
no, that-
If a dolphin flopped up
They've
on
got a-
shore,
They've got apes around here. They've got a temperament. They don't.
Oh, so it's not just intelligence. It's like, if you're a salty bitch, you might not get it.
Yeah.
Neo, just give us back our fucking ape.
so if a dolphin were to flop up on shore,
Theophrastus would not get in.
I think mud dolphins are extinct. And
Wow.
he just kind of fishes out a key when they get to the locked room
dolphin.
and opens it up. And yeah, when you head in, it is the 4 people who were injured in the dream by axe.
Oh!
Aegis kind of steps around them carefully. He was told not to disturb them, or at least he intuited that much. And
Yeah.
goes for the clip and collects the clipboard.
Yeah, it just has it basically is just it's a ledger of all the names of the card carrying cultists.
Okay, yeah, Aegis.
With a few of them have marks next to their names.
Aegis copies it pretty much as it is. He includes the marks next to certain names.
Right.
And then just jots down members of the cult of Vetris.
Eyes of Vetris.
Eyes of
The
Vetris.
Eyes of Vetris.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Guillermo's going around them. He checks each of their pulses.
Is he carrying a baby?
No. He checks each of their pulses. He inspects where they've been where he's wrapped them up. their limbs and all that, their legs held up, and he just sort of takes measure of them with some implements he has.
So injuries in the dream world carry over out here.
If they're intense enough.
And
Broken bones, thos'll jolt them.
So they didn't wake up, did they? Or
well, that's the rub. Where they were given such a sensory jolt that they can't be in the dreamscape anymore, but they still are in the sleep spell. So I'm gonna have to wake them up.
I do have a question.
In fact,
No,
I'm probably gonna do that later today.
I see.
Well, if anything, it'll be nice to have more hands on deck. Although I have a feeling a few of them.
Are you sure they're gonna want to stick around to begin
A
with?
few of them will probably be a little bit more grumpy than my other three.
I imagine they're not going to get the reward at the end. Probably.
Well, if this is the place, then yeah.
Yeah, Aegis finishes copying down notes and he kind of carefully exits the room.
Yeah. Guillermo's going to stay with them until he decides to wake them up.
Anyone else going in there?
Sure, yeah.
I mean, what are you doing in there?
I don't know.
Just looking.
I don't really have anything to do with this, but
Yeah.
I mean, sure, I will accompany. Don't have much else to do other than patrol.
So, yeah, Guillermo's just kind of just going over them. Like, he has a lot of odd implements that he, like, places on their heads. And, like, looks into things. He sort of has, like, this odd, like, sort of microscope device that, like, has a bunch of, like, rods that attach to their heads.
Axe find this creep.
Yeah, Azora's sort of leaning against a wall, arms crossed, like sort of watching this. This is odd. This is interesting. Or I mean, I don't know. It's she's curious how this works.
Well, so yeah, he's basically he decides that he kind of looks up at you and just says, "You got something? You got something to say?"
Azora shakes her head.
All right, and is Axe in the room?
Axe is here, yes.
All right, yeah, he looks at you, Axe, and says, "So wait, from what I gather from some of the mutterings you three have had, you're the one who did this to them?
Maybe.
Could you leave the room?
Why?
I'd really rather they not see you. You be the first thing they see when they wake up."
Fine. Axe will leave room. He stomps off in a huff.
Yeah, he kind of eyes after you, and then sort of goes back to adjusting the scope of the of his microscope, looking in, microscope-esque device, looking in. He opens up his mouth, and peers in there. Puts his just does a lot of odd vaguely medical things, but not like any other doctor would do for a patient. It's all very focused on the head area, despite the fact that it's the leg that's broken. And he eventually just kind of rolls back in his chair and just says, "All right, hope you don't freak out too much. And he grabs a bit of dust from a little sort of box he has and whispers something into it and sort of lets it fall on the man's face. And the man just sort of slowly like opens his eyes, blinks a bit, contorts his face a bit, lets out a sharp sort of breath as he like moves his leg, and then opens his eyes fully and like looks over at Guillermo and just says, "If this is the place, it's gonna be kind of if this was the place, I'm gonna be pretty goddamn upset." I know, buddy. I know.
Azora's actually gonna walk over to him if she can, like sort of eyeing the guy doing the thing, making sure like it's okay for her to like approach or touch. Actually, how mobile does he seem to be? I should first ask.
The
Like, is
guy,
this guy like? Is he like his leg was what was fucked up, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so he could move his arms.
Yeah.
Azora does walk up to him and just sort of say, "Did want to formally apologize on behalf of my companion."
Yeah.
And Azora does extend like a hand, out of apology. Name's Azora.
Yeah, he takes your hand and just says, "Vince." And Guillermo sort of lets his leg kind of gently down from the what's the term, sling he had it in, and pats it out and just says, "Try to stand up, Vince." And yeah, he does. He kind of grabs his leg a bit. It's sore as hell, and he just kind of vaguely, tests it, gets it working, moves his sort of limbs around and stretches out, and just says, "Well, if this is the place, I guess I can at least tell everyone else." Yeah, you and the other three. It's a good thing you're the first to wake up. I don't think Leo's gonna be as happy.
Azora does say, I know it doesn't mean much, but rest assured, I will do anything in my power to help you get back or offer any assistance I can to returning you, especially should this be the place.
Right. Well, if it is the place, I don't think I'll be able to return, which just means I'm gonna have to go ahead and atone for not sticking it out. And
I can be of any assistance.
maybe. We'll see. And he just kind of stretches and just looks around and says, "Well, at least now you got an extra pair of hands." And Guillermo nods and just says, "Over to the general store. We got hard liquor there." And he nods and sort of makes his way, very slowly walking.
Oh, he doesn't know Big Guy's dead.
He doesn't. No.
Well, Azora's not going to be the one to break that news.
Oh.
No, we'll just let that be a fun surprise for later.
He'll just find the grave and go, "Hey, what's that
God
about?"
damn it, Em. No, the way you said that, because I've grown up with a little kid who like grew up watching the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. I just that would be a surprise for later. God damn it.
Surprise tool for later.
Oh.
All right. So he goes around, doing the sort of same processes on the other three, and one by one, wakes them up as well. They are Leo, who was one of the waiters that got barreled into. Logan,
Paul?
was the other guard,
Wolverine.
and was the other guard in the
Vince
church.
was a guard.
Yeah, Vince was a guard in the church, and Logan was the other one. And the final one is Iris, who was the second waiter that got barreled over.
Damn. Axios shout, Axis for equal opportunity! Or being pounded!
Bravo,
Yeah.
Vince.
Leo is the one that's when he wakes up, he's like swearing like immediately. He's pretty upset.
Azora, is gonna, if she can, try and give him, the same condolences, whatnot. But, also, recognizing he probably needs a space to be upset.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
She's not gonna try and, push it. She does,
And it's
give him
basically
room
just
to
a
be angry.
yeah, whatever, and immediately heads off to the general store as soon as Guillermo tells him that there's hard liquor there.
Toro?
He's gonna make that joke every single time. It's just
That's just the first thing that comes to mind.
as a second thing come to mind.
Pacific Rim?
Let's see, the other three, by the way, their names, the other three, non-talkative people who were already there. They are, I'll give them names also, Wayne, Russ, and Oz.
Wayne, what in Oz?
Wayne, Russ, and Oz.
How do you
Wayne,
spell
as in
Russ?
his
Russ.
world? Wayne's World?
I'm just labeling them patrol. That makes sense to me. I don't know why. Oh god, what the fuck? Whatever.
Alright, so, yeah. Guillermo stays behind in the medical room to just sort of go over a few more things.
So, Aegis is definitely going to go to the angriest one. Not intentionally, just the one that's angry.
Leo, okay.
Yeah, he winds up like Leo and the waiter, and it's like, Aegis just walks up to him with a notepad.
Oh,
Oh, no.
fuck you.
Yeah, me.
Yeah, you're one of the diner dicks. Nice job.
That's our mercenary band name now. Fuck the no ones or nobodies or whatever.
Aegis just crosses out like his sketch that he's gonna put on his shield. That says the no ones, and he just writes down the diner dicks.
I forget, were we the no ones or the nobodies?
I thought we were the no ones.
No one
No ones.
I don't
Oh,
think
true,
I'm not sure
true,
if we had
no one.
I'm not sure if we had totally settled on that name yet, though. I
I don't think we actually had in character, but I don't know. It's what I've been thinking of. I like it.
So, Aegis just says, "Mind if I ask you a few questions?"
I do.
All right, great. Well, that's the end of that one. then.
Yeah. He just kind of storms off towards the general store.
Azora sort of walking out, following him, I guess, after just walks up to Aegis and just, yeah, that one's pretty upset. I mean, they all are to some degree.
Right. I didn't think they would like me.
Yeah, I mean, they might have lost out on their chance at, the whole point of their religion. Just give them space, I guess.
Right.
Not much else we can do.
All right. I know it's rude of me to ask you then, but if you can glean anything, can you tell me? Where they came from, if they knew what they were doing in there, that kind of thing.
I'll do my best.
So,
And Azora then just sort of, pats Aegis on the shoulder and walks into the general store after them.
Alright.
She's actually gonna like grab a couple bottles of whiskey or whatnot, and which Vince was the first one she was talking
Yeah.
to. Seemed to have the best rapport with. She's gonna offer to share a drink with him, pour some glasses and sit down, talk with him.
Yeah, he accepts. Coram is also in the general store. He's eating bread.
Azora sort of acknowledges him.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Azora's basically gonna after at first just let them drink together in silence, but then sort of asks, "So how did you get wrapped up in all this?"
All this, as a vetress.
Yeah.
Well, I was born into it.
Where are you from?
Some country out west.
Out west.
Yeah, walked a long way. Been through a lot of towns, a lot of spots.
How old are you? How old are you?
42. And he takes another swig and just says, "It's really felt like it could have been the right place. But, well, a lot of other places felt like that."
For your sake, I sincerely hope it wasn't. For a lot of people's sake.
Yeah. If it was, then, well, fate wasn't, clearly fate wasn't happy with me. Neither was Vetrus.
Fate's not happy with a lot of people, but it wasn't the work of Vetrus that had this done to you.
Either way, if I woke up from the cardinal dream, then I'm going to then that's a lot. That's going to be something I'll have to spend the rest of my life atoning for.
Do you have I'm trying to think what other things would Aegis want to know, to try and fish out of him.
Aegis was hoping for someone who wasn't born into it. Just that kind of Aegis was more looking for the perspective of someone who wandered into the dream, which maybe none of the people we woke up were, because they all had jobs there.
Oh yeah, I would be surprised.
Yeah, all these people were guards and patrols. These were trusted members, so
yeah,
these
were people who were part of the people who set this up.
So that kind of actually that's actually kind of culls the line of questioning Aegis wanted.
Azura is sort of curious on something. So, this whole thing. Do you only have these other people here in the dream because they happen to be in this spot? When you do this sometimes, is it just you guys and no one else, really? Or do you try and, keep people?
Sometimes the spot's unpopulated. Sometimes it's populated. It really doesn't affect our mission any either way.
One thing's been bugging me. So, talk about how the dream, if people are aware it's a dream, that starts to break down the fabric. But clearly you guys were aware of the situation. How does that work?
We undergo very, very rigorous dream training throughout our days in the order. We spend most of our time on the move and in taking shelter wherever we can without actually inducing the ritual. And during those times, it's the duty of every member of the Eyes to go through as many dreamscapes as they can and condition themselves to it.
So it is basically lucid dreaming then. A normal person, if they realize they're dreaming, wake up, and then, that's what strains the reality of it. But so they're essentially just trained to lucid dream, and they can be aware it's a dream without stressing it, basically?
Yeah, basically they train to lucid dream so that but lucid dreaming is completely different from the actual ritual of entering the dreamscape.
Yeah.
The training, they're conditioning themselves to withstand the knowledge, which allows them to handle that by accepting completely and utterly the truth that the dream is reality.
I see. Interesting.
Some of us train so hard that we can even re-enter dreamscapes, but no one can re-enter the cardinal dream.
So if someone knew about the dream and then were to enter it after already knowing about it and what they're getting into, would that be a problem in the dream if they hadn't gone through this training?
If they haven't gone through the training and they were in it and then woke up, then they wouldn't be able to come back in.
No, I mean if someone
assuming it were one of the ritual dreamscapes, then no.
But if someone, even say out of curiosity, if someone hadn't already been in the dream, but they were told about it and told what it was, and then entered it on purpose, would that cause a problem if they knew its nature without the training?
It depends on their strength of their mind, and it depends on the dreamscape.
This one, for instance?
This one seems very strong. I doubt an untrained mind. This one seems very strong. I believe even if told in this reality that the dreamscape that they were about to enter the dreamscape, I doubt they could cotton on to the fact once they're in there.
We caught on and we didn't know about it.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. Be interesting. I suppose you all had somewhat more interesting, somewhat more temperamental minds for this sort of thing.
Zora sort of shrugs and knocks the side of her head with her eye patch, For me and the big guy, don't think either of our brains are exactly normal. Can't speak for the Twiggy guy, though.
Meanwhile, outside, you just hear Axe chopping wood. Oh!
Could certainly have had something to do with it. Other times, if someone's just, cynical, sometimes it just doesn't click.
Agus's cynicism is on the level of Azora and Axe's brain malformities. Love that.
I mean, it's coming from this guy, and I think he's biased.
I mean, hey, you caught on to the dream thing. It didn't quite work on you.
It could also have had something to do with how you entered, how cognizant you were. I believe you came here. Why?
There were reports about the town, people not communicating, had basically dropped off the map, and no one coming out or anything like that. So we were sent to investigate by some other concerned citizens.
So you showed up with the idea that there could have been something wrong with the town.
That's true.
And then walked right into the dreamscape. Your state of mind right prior was primed to question everything.
Suppose.
That probably has something to do with it. Damn. Well, anyway, I should go help Guillermo at the church. He's wanted me to meet him there.
If Aegis was really cynical, you would just hear drumming from one of the sleeping rooms as Aegis is just basically just drumming on their heads like bongos to wake them up. He's not doing that, but the mental image really amuses me right now.
Right.
I think that's about all the questions I can think to ask, though, unless anyone else has any I should be asking.
I mean, Aegis can't. No, I think that's pretty solid. Just an idea of what's going on here. And that's more to add to the rules of the dreamscape, that the people who are in on it can train themselves to trick themselves. They self-gaslight.
Wow.
You seem so convinced that, like, not accepting of this as a reality, its own reality.
It's got to be the angle. It's got to be.
It's the key to all of this.
Yeah, well, there's that.
Aegis is,
Azora probably stays drinking with him for a while before going back
Yeah.
to report to Aegis.
yeah, Aegis has probably gone back to just, documenting the people. I don't know, like, how much progress would you say he's made on that, Neo?
You're just checking on each individual sleeper?
Yeah, he's going from person to person, doing a basic sketch of them. And trying to any like personal effects he can find, like names or anything. If they have that, he jots that down. And for 150 people, he's probably
Actually, Azora offers, like, after realizing what he's doing, like, sort of documenting each person, offers some help. Like, I can take this swing.
3 days, you've probably gotten to about half of them.
okay. Yeah, so more than enough time to kind of get everyone in. And if Azora's helping now, then
Yeah. Azora, actually, I guess this would be the first time we've really seen her, when she does write left-handed still, she carries a couple notebooks, but so she, takes out one of her notebooks and starts writing. She's has much, like, nicer handwriting than you would probably expect. She's actually decent at sketching too. Not like a great artistic talent, but she's clearly, like, very well practiced at, like, drawing and sketching and whatnot, illustration. But very much, like, it's out of she's clearly done this a lot versus, like, has a real, like, innate talent for it or any sort of but just, is pretty efficient and, like, I guess would be how you'd say it.
But yeah, we're just basically going from bed to bed, just kind of like jotting down, getting the faces of people, just general notes on them, anything else we can glean. And Aegis does like stop and basically jot down everything that when Azora tells him about what she got from the other guy, from Leo, talking to him.
Oh, yeah. Azora shares. Well, yeah, I was going to say, Azora goes to find Aegis, share with that, and after that, offer help with documenting people.
Yeah.
Don't know what to ask fucking question-wise for, like, everyday a question. God.
You could, one thing is how many of these people are from here versus
That's the question I was uncertain if I could gather, because Neo said that not many of them have even names on their documentation or anything. I guess it could just be like general racial makeup, skin tones, all that. Like how many people are obviously from here versus travelers.
And like clothes and whatnot too, if they're wearing like, home clothes versus traveling gear.
Yeah, okay. So how many people would you say roughly are local to the region, if not Hemlock?
Local to the region.
Like, this is a question of how many people just got caught up in this and off from around it versus how many have clearly traveled with them.
Right, let's see. I'm gonna say about 60%.
60% are locals.
Yeah.
Alright, so that makes it more likely that, okay, these are people who would be reported missing around here, if anything else. Okay.
So, Vince said something about he's meeting Guillermo at the church.
Oh, Aegis is
for
going to
more
go
investigation.
Aegis is probably going to go along to the church, if he can, to basically observe that when Guillermo goes to the church.
Right. So yeah, they're inside. They're at the area where you told him in the dream there was a trapdoor
Yeah.
leading down to the basement, which doesn't, because this church does not have a basement. It doesn't have that. And you see that Guillermo has sort of sketched out a sort of diagram along that area on the floor. And he's just kind of leaning over it with Vince and sort of talking about, and they're just kind of exchanging words about it.
Aegis is more sat near the back, but I think at some point he does just interject. Because he's probably by the back of the church, does just kind of shout over, why don't you just break it?
It looks back and just says, there's no basement. There's nothing under there.
No mine, no nothing.
Nothing.
Why, if you don't mind my asking, why was there something there in the dreamscape then? It's clearly not a one-to-one of the town, but that's where I saw it.
That's what we're trying to find out. This could be indicative that this could be indicative of something. This could be indicative of a deeper dreamscape, which is good news for perhaps this being the cardinal dream, but could just as easily be some other realm or scape crossing wires. That's what we have to figure out.
I have a question. I did just ponder. The town doesn't match up one-to-one. Is the town like misaligned at all from dream world to this world?
Certain things do differ. Our ritualistic dreamscape features certain features certain additions to wherever we set up that allow us to more easily do our work.
Well, what I was saying was maybe, this is going to sound weird, maybe, are there any other buildings in this town that have a basement? Maybe this church just got mangled without one in there. I don't know how your dream works.
I very much doubt that. All I know is that I know what additions we made to the dreamscape, and this was not on there.
Should we get the big guy axe, find a pickaxe or something, just go at the ground?
No, this requires a finer touch. And they whisper to each other a bit, and Vince nods and heads out to go grab something.
I think at this point Aegis stops interjecting anyway. He clearly completely out of his depth with whatever they're trying to get at.
Yeah.
If it doesn't involve hitting things, stabbing things, it's not, Aegis can't solve it.
So yeah, Vince comes back with some supplies, and they start expanding the diagram and they have some dusts, some odd dusts, some weird implements that they sort of lay out and sort of start blessing with incantations and putting it on the diagram. And after a few hours of that, they sort of get up and just say, well, this will be something, we're going to have to give it a day of rest, so day after tomorrow, we're going to have our first big test with it.
Okay.
And yeah, they head out, and they decide, to basically just spend the rest of the day in the general store, because now they have more hands, they can switch up patrols so that they don't have to, so it's not a constant walk around for all of them. So the other three are actually able to get to rest their legs a bit.
I think Aegis is at this point just kind of backseat to all this.
Mm-hmm. And at this point, eventually when the time comes, they start, breaking out the tablets again. Azora, you haven't asked about that yet.
Oh, true. Yeah, no, that is the point. Azora does ask that, like, could I just take what you guys do so I could also patrol? Like, I don't know how that works. Would I be able to, patrol or guard in my sleep?
What it does, what ours does is it essentially puts our bodies on autopilot. Where essentially our bodies are given a rote set of instructions to follow.
What type of instructions?
I believe the priorities go walk around town, ward off dangers, and ward off dangers and check out noises. Roughly.
Azora just say, I'd be willing to help you patrol at night. Frankly, I'm probably better in a fight than any of you.
Sure. I guess I don't see a reason why not. Just understand that you won't necessarily be conscious of what you're doing. If your body decides to kill something, then it kills something.
That actually is something that's a bit concerning to Azora.
What if the body decides to kill Aegis?
It is like Azora does like how much of how easy to trigger is that, like, what judgment, does your body exercise on when you're on these?
Well, it exercises whether or not something in the vicinity poses a threat to the eyes of Vetris.
Oh dear.
And if it does, it moves to eliminate it.
So why have none of them attacked me yet?
Usually the odd animal that manages to break through the barriers and avoid the sleep spell.
Oh please, 8, don't return now. Don't have Azora kill you.
Yeah, no, Azora is going to probably for the best for everyone if I pass then.
Alright. Thanks for requesting at least.
Azora, this is probably a little shitty, but Azora does say, if one of you, makes a bad call and the dream goes out of control, I'm pretty confident in being able to handle that. I'm less confident on if I start attacking someone, any of you being able to stop me. No offense.
Right.
Hashtag humble brag.
No, Azora...
It seems to be
Azora
a character with her. Like, that seems to be a character trait of Azora. He just humble brags a lot.
Humble reminder, I could kick your ass.
Where is this coming from? The last time Azora and Axe talked was like how Axe had like a big advantage in a fight against Azora.
That's a good point, actually. Let's give Axe those pills and see what happens.
Yeah, no. that sounds like a very bad idea.
No, it sounds like a fun idea. It sounds like a cool prank.
No, Azora does like clarify. I'm kidding. That was a joke. Azora then sort of knocks the side of her head. I'm just more concerned about how that would interact with,
the brain.
My head. My nerves. I need to, induce sleep a lot of the time. My body wants to fight a lot more than it should, and don't want to risk anything on those.
Alright, so the rest of you, we're just gonna take the pills.
Actually, you know what? I've realized with my move, I shouldn't have been sketching people. I should have been considering
wood carvings.
Yeah, I should have been doing whittles of everyone, considering everyone always be impressed. by my speed and
Azora
resourcefulness.
does know how to whittle too. They could have a whittling competition.
We just start having petty arts and crafts
Aegis is
competitions.
hardwired. Aegis has a move that hardwires him to win any whittling competition.
I don't think that's how that works. I think I'd be impressed with his speed and what. I'd be impressed that he could whistle. I don't think that it's not like that one strength of 100 move where you automatically win any direct test of strength.
You're adept at crafting replacement spears, jams, or any wood-based gear you're familiar with. The GM will tell takes and any requirements of your allies will always be surprised by your resourcefulness and speed. Resourcefulness.
Yeah, it's not necessarily saying the beauty or the craftsmanship,
I mean, here's the thing. The resourcefulness of it, I think, is basically going to be she'll whittle an actual little wood carving, and Aegis will have carved it into the wall or some shit, or use the awnings, or just use the interior of the room.
True.
You would have been
Carves
resourceful.
each bedpost into a likeness of the person in the bed.
You know what? I just thought that would be the most egotistical thing ever, but I love this image now as someone who has wooden bedposts, and all the bedposts are a bust of their head. That's the worst I think I've ever thought. Just all of those staring off the bed.
That's what Theophrastus's bed was like.
Just busts of his head on every bedpost.
Okay, so the next day.
Mm.
The next day, they're all just kind of going about daily routines. The four who were woken up are still acclimating to the idea that they may have just been cucked out of the great beyond.
Would you say that these people are woke?
Yeah.
Nice.
They're woke soy boy dream cucks.
That's the name of this part.
Alright, so yeah, this day, they're all just kind of going, very routine. They're leaving the church alone. They have a sort of blessing going on with it that requires it remain undisturbed.
So we can't disturb them.
Yeah,
Well, we
you
can,
can't
but we
disturb
shouldn't.
the church. No one's at the church. They just have a enchantment going on there that's taking. They're basically, need some time in the oven.
Yeah, it's buffering.
Yeah.
All right. We don't.
Loading.
Aegis isn't going to interrupt it. Aegis is actually going to be respectful of that.
It's on a free-to-wait timer. If you can PayPal me $5 to speed it up.
No, I'm not
For
buying
only
fuel.
$5?
Has an MMO ever done that? You pay to get to the front of the queue? Does Final Fantasy
Probably.
14 do that, Swede?
No,
Why not?
there's no reason to.
I'm just gonna start doing that. I'm gonna start making things take longer and longer in game, and offer you the choice to PayPal me to speed it up.
Maybe you should do it for rolls as well. Is that +1
Yeah.
could become a +2 if
I could look the other way.
you slip a few dollars this way and
My GM is blackmailing me.
My GM has introduced microtransactions into his campaign. What
you
do
know
I
what?
do?
I'm considering making just a fake Reddit account and just making a story about this on RRPG as my GM has introduced microtransactions to the campaign. I really want to write this story now and just see the response it gets.
Alright, so, it's mostly uneventful today, except for, two of them. We'll say, Logan and, Oz, come in with a sort of a wheelbarrow, and it has, 3 bodies in it.
Oh no. Are they asleep?
Yes.
Okay. Have I jotted those ones down?
No.
I stopped them. I was like, hang on a second here.
Oh, hey, you.
Yeah, me. We've been over this. I gotta jot those guys down before you do anything with them.
Whatever. I gotta get them to a bed. Gotta get them to a bed. Hurry up.
Wait, are these new arrivals?
Yep. They walked into the barrier.
That's all it takes then.
Yeah.
You guys don't.
Yeah.
You guys don't really discriminate, do you?
A lot of people have walked into the barrier. What's of it?
They all just fall. Like, I guess it's just sketching this to see like things. He probably finished off. They all walk into the illusion, and then just like finishes up.
And welcome to reality.
That's where we're standing.
So, you take sketch of them. They're actually garbed in soldier armor.
Oh God, which town? Which place?
Regents.
These are regents. God,
Yeah.
I gotta remember what my regents is.
Regents is league.
Regents is league. Okay.
Yes.
Aegis like looks at them and says, "You might not want these ones."
There. Well, I'm sure they'll find it quite comfortable.
No. I mean, can I get? Wait here a sec. Oh, is Guillermo moving them, or is it? No, it's not. Guillermo isn't here.
No, yeah.
All right, I'm gonna. I basically like go and collect Guillermo and bring him over.
Right. Guillermo. Yeah. As soon as you leave, you just start wheeling them over to one of the buildings.
The moment I hear that wheeling, I'm like, "Hey, stop! Wait there a sec."
We're getting them to a bed. You want them to.
They can wait unless they're getting bloody wheelbarrow sores. I don't think they're gonna worry too much. Their ass is gonna hurt in the dream. It can wait.
Alright. They just kind of look at each other, and Oz just kind of sighs and sets it down and just says, "This one's insistent."
Yeah, I go and collect Guillermo and bring him back to the wheelbarrow.
Guillermo seems. What's the problem?
These are soldiers. And I'm saying this for your guys' safety, not because I disagree with your shit, but if there's a Regent's patrol out this way, you probably want to let them walk.
Well,
I
see your point,
let
but
them think that just dump them outside. Let them think this is all an illusion. Don't let them know this happened, because if 3 patrolmen have gone missing, that's going to lead to more problems for you guys. You think I did some damage to your dream? How about a whole patrol of people looking for their friends who come here with intent?
I see your point, but, well, we can't exactly just get them out of there willy-nilly. They're gonna need to stay in there for a bit until we can somehow manage to gather that they're in the dreamscape, they're in a place where they can be pulled out without people really noticing that someone's disappearing.
All right.
So, take them to the beds, and make sure to watch for any signals from the people inside.
Aegis is like actually looking out of town into the woods, like seeing if there's a bigger patrol, like trying to spot if that was it. Essentially, like, hey, wait, what part of town did they come in from?
They point down a path. They point north.
If I exit the town and come back in, I won't fall into a dreamscape, right?
As long as you keep mind of where the barrier is, and you prep yourself,
Yeah.
you should be ready to deal with that.
Right. I mean, from the border of town, do I see anything?
Roll wisdom.
Okay. Fuck.
No, you don't see nothing.
Okay. Alright, yeah, Aegis just looks out and he's... should I take the chance on this? Because it could go a lot worse. If I do actually exit town and find people, that could be a lot worse than if I don't. If they just come in. Okay, Aegis is going to leave it. Aegis goes back to what he was doing, which is, you know... He jots those three in quickly, sees if they have any identification on them.
Oh, yeah, they've got dog tags.
Yeah, Aegis writes down the names for these three, and that they are... actually, Aegis, like, considers that for a moment, whether reporting that there are soldiers from Regents looking in this part, you know, because Seneca is still fucking a Confederate city, if I'm remembering.
They're specifically in the guerrilla war against Regents.
Yeah, and this would be reporting troop movements in a way, which Seneca would like that, actually. Yeah, fuck it, we're not exactly neutral, yeah. Aegis, like, thinks on that and decides to keep that in as part of his report.
Gotcha.
See if that bites us in the arse later.
Alright, so yeah, you note down their dog tags. Gotcha. Alright, so...
I only just noticed my stat setup. I've got 2 16s, 2 13s, and 2 9s.
Right.
I just find that interesting.
So yeah, they set those three up in a bedroom. And there's gonna have someone watching over them. Specifically staying in the room with them. And that's going to be Logan. Alright, and the rest of the day passes without incident.
Alrighty.
So, you have a question?
Okay, so they mentioned the barrier, so I guess my question is more just kind of an in-character thing, but Aegis does actually want to memorize where the barrier is. Like what the cat, because he's going to draw a map of the town with the kind of catchment area.
It's about a sort of a 10-meter radius around the general town. So it very much extends a bit of the ways into the actual paths. So, no, the Seneca Coral Path and the Coral to the Swamp Path.
Okay then, yeah, so Aegis just basically draws a map, puts down the town itself, and then puts the radius where you walk into this, you are just caught and deposited in the dreamscape immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently there is some danger if someone leaves and tries to return.
Yep. Alright, so, when the next day comes, Guillermo and Vince, are going to head back to the church to, see what's up with that.